Hey, and welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to check out the nuclear drama, Testament. As recommended by some of the commenters on my Miracle Mile video, I figured I should see what all the chatter was about. I hope you enjoy the video, and spoilers ahead. The film starts and we meet the Weatherly family. Carol is just waking up from a long night's sleep, and Tom and Brad are heading out for a day of bike riding. Tom is really pushing Brad, encouraging him and telling him he can do it as they ride up a steep road. Mary, their daughter, is playing the piano, and Carol wants her to eat some breakfast. Her little son Scotty is enjoying some electronic game and she wants him to get dressed. Brad arrives home telling his mother the ride wasn't very good, but Dad made the hill. We see the morning any parent has when trying to get their kids ready for the day. Tom arrives at a local gas station run by a man named Mike. His son Hiroshi comes out with a fishing rod, and Tom tells him he can't fish today, but they will Sunday. The kids are heading off to school as Tom gets back home. Little Scotty is playing a rat in a school play. Carol is directing it and Tom playfully makes fun of her. Nighttime and the family is asleep. Carol wakes thinking she hears Scotty. She wakes Tom and wants to have a talk. Carol is worried as it's Brad's birthday soon. She fears he's going to be drafted, but Tom tells her that's over 5 years away and to go back to bed. It's another chaotic morning, getting the kids ready and doing laundry. We're at the school and Carol is directing the children on their version of the Pied Piper. Back home, Carol gets a message from Tom saying he'll be home late. Brad is standing outside the window trying to fix the antenna to get a better TV signal. Carol gets another message from Tom saying never mind, he'll be home in time for dinner. The TV goes out again. Brad smacks it and a news report comes on talking about nuclear bombs going off around New York and the East Coast. A bright flash is seen as air horns start blaring. The family huddles together in complete fright. People are filling the streets in complete confusion. Carol leaves a note for Tom telling him they're headed to a neighbor's house, Henry Abhart, and to meet them there. It looks like the entire neighborhood is holed up in Henry's place. Henry tells everyone he can't get a message out to any of the surrounding areas of San Francisco. He tells the worried people no matter what they need, his wife Rosemary and himself will be there. Back home, Carol thinks she hears Tom. It's her daughter Mary worried and asking when her father will be home. The whole family is in the bedroom worried and waiting. The following morning is a much quieter and somber one. Carol writes in a journal to try and ease her mind. The kids say their dishes have dust on them, so Carol takes them to clean them off. Brad is worried, asking if the radiation has gotten in the water. A neighbor boy comes over asking if he can stay with them until his parents come home from San Francisco. We're at the local church and everyone is scared and shouting. The people just want to know what's going on. The stores are being looted and they can't get any communication to the outside. A doctor tells the crowd they really don't know what to expect, but if the nuclear fallout stays consistent, they would become sick. Kathy Pitkin tells the doctor her baby won't take her milk anymore and spits it up. She's incredibly worried about her baby. People are told to only drink bottled water and eat canned food for the meantime. There's a long lineup for gas as people are trying to fill up, some with the intention of fleeing. Carol talks to Mike hoping she would get an update on Tom. She asks Mike how much it is to fill up and he says free to his regular customers. Carol tells him to come by one night for dinner as repayment for his generosity. Police are outside a grocery store as food and water are being rationed off. A man gives Carol attitude because her son was holding her spot in line for over 4 hours. Brad rides his bike over to Henry's house. Henry is the only communications in and out of town with his radio. He gives Brad a paper with rad numbers to bring to the local doctor. It's been 11 days since Carol has seen Tom and she's watching old family movies and wearing his sweater. Brad tells his mother some people are leaving up north to Canada. Carol asks them what they should do and they decide to stay because this is home. The family heads out on a picnic to find the tree they planted when Scotty was born. It's all withered and starting to die. Back at the school, the kids are putting on the play for the adults. We see all the adults crying as they know what's coming. Carol comes across Phil carrying a wooden drawer. He tells her it's for his daughter, who has sadly passed. Phil is devastated. The kids are fighting over food as Mary wants to feed a stray cat. Carol tells her she needs to ration the food, but Mary doesn't want to hear it. Carol walks into Mary's room and comforts her as she's upset and misses her father. She asks Brad if she's seen Scotty, but no one has. Carol is outside where the local priest finds her and takes her to Scotty, who is trying to run away. She asks her son what he's doing. He's burying his treasures and wants to run away and find Dad. Scotty wants us all to go away and his mother tells him she can't. Phil and Kathy pull up and are leaving as they have nothing after losing their daughter. They tell Carol they'll contact her and leave. Brad is back at Henry's and asks if there's anything he can do. Henry tells him Rosemary hasn't been feeling well lately and if he could take over checking in on people, he would appreciate it. He also tells Brad he isn't able to contact anyone in Santa Carla where his father was. We hear Carol writing in her journal talking about her kids and the community. Currently 1,300 people have passed. Brad rides through the cemetery and we see lots of burials going on. Mary is looking at old photos while she reminisces with her mother about better times. She asks her mother to be frank with her about lovemaking, and Carol gives her her honest feelings and the emotions that come with it. Carol rushes into the bathroom, filling the sink with water. Scotty is not feeling well and she's cleaning him and cooling him off with the water. We see blood on a towel where Scotty had been sitting. Carol is rocking and singing to her little boy. We see old home movies of little Scotty riding around the yard on his bike. Carol is rushing around the house frantically looking for something. She runs outside and we see the family standing around with little Scotty wrapped in a blanket. He died and they're burying him. The priest arrives and Carol tells him he's not being buried without his favorite bear. Carol is checking the batteries in her flashlight. She runs her hands through her hair and a large chunk comes out. The radiation is slowly killing them. Brad checks on Rosemary and she's very sick. Mary is here for her piano lessons. Carol is in bed thinking to herself, Larry, the neighbor boy they took in, died. He curled up in a ball and passed. Someone breaks in the house and Brad confronts him. He wrestles with some kid trying to steal their food. They chase him off, but he steals Brad's bike in the process. Carol and Brad are enjoying a fire. Brad puts on some music and they start to dance. We see more old home videos of the family dancing and having a good time. Brad is in the garage and hearing his dad's voice. He takes his father's bike down and heads out. Brad heads to Henry's and he's not feeling very good anymore. Rosemary has passed, but he's not giving up trying to communicate. Brad rides around and there are graves everywhere. The bodies of the dead are being burned. We see Carol sewing up the wrapped body of her daughter Mary, her firstborn baby. Brad rides past the gas station as men pull the body of Mike out. His son Hiroshi is all by himself, so Brad tells him he's coming to his house. Brad tells Hiroshi they'll go fishing and have a party with all this food. Carol is very weak, eating some peanut butter from the jar. Brad takes over the communications as Henry is also now passed. He doesn't get any response, unfortunately. Carol is getting sick as the radiation is taking over. More and more bodies are being burnt as the residents die one by one. Carol starts to break down as they've lost everything. Brad visits his siblings' graves while Carol looks over photos of her family. Carol heads into the garage, closing the door and covering the base with towels. She gets in the car with Brad and Hiroshi. Starting the car, they intend to die by carbon monoxide poisoning, but Carol just can't bring herself to do it. The three of them have crackers with peanut butter, a candle atop each. Brad asks his mother what they should wish for. She tells him to remember the good and the bad, that they were the last and never gave up. More home videos celebrating Tom's birthday, and the film comes to an end. This was a hard one to watch, but it was really good. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe and turn on the bell to be notified of the next upload. Thank you all for watching and your support, and as always, do take care.